What's up, MetaNerdz? Today we're going to be talking about the DUM-Series, or as you may know them, the pit droids. Although the pit droids are manufactured by Servo Droid, their original creators were the Ceruleans. The Ceruleans are a reptilian species as tall as Wookiees. Their home planet of Cerulia is an industrial world found in the expansion region. The Ceruleans actually developed the pit droids as a result of them being so tall. They needed a small droid that could fit under floating transports and get into small circuitry areas that they couldn't reach. Thus, the pit droid was born. With a height of 1.19 meters, or roughly 3 feet and 9 inches, they're really not that big. If you're looking for a real-world example, look at this chicken. It's really big, about 4 feet tall. The pit droid's overall design included a skeletal body that was actually kind of lanky looking, with a giant dome-like head. In the middle of the head, there was one lens. This lens was actually a photoreceptor with multi-spectrum scans that helped the DUM-Series find defects in small pieces of metal. But don't let the pit droid's small design fool you. They're able to carry many times their own weight and size. They're like the ants of the droid world. These droids work best in large groups. They come in 5 stock colors: gray, yellow, blue, orange, and red. Although they understand verbal commands, they actually communicate best amongst each other through the receiver on the top of their heads. This helps make them exceptionally efficient. You can turn a pit droid on and off by hitting the small nose. In the off position, they curl up into a small ball. When turned on, they spring to life. The Servo Droid company noticed the DUM-Series when Cerulia hosted a stop on the pod racing circuit. Servo Droid was able to convince the Ceruleans to give up ownership of the droid and create multiple factories on the planet in order for them to continue building them for a small cut of the profit. Pit droids are actually known for being made quite cheaply. Cheap parts and high expectations means these guys actually relate a lot to the B1 droids. They're not very chatty, but they are known for having crazy personalities. In most cases, owners got rid of broken pit droids and just got themselves new ones. Pit droid owners also had to keep an eye out for defects. Although they had plenty of sensors to keep them out of trouble, they were also known for being clumsy, so didn't really keep them out of all kinds of danger in pod racing. And due to their immense strength, owners had to keep an eye out because a pit droid out of control was actually kinda dangerous. This meant that ion blasters were mandatory for owners to have, since remote controls weren't included, and the most common defect was a faulty on and off switch. These guys are obviously seen most in the pits of the pod racing world, but we also see glimpses of them in the Clone Wars TV series. My personal favorite, and I think most notable appearance of the pit droid, is when we meet Whack 47, or as he likes to just call himself, Whack. Whack is actually a pit droid programmed to be a pilot droid. He's part of the D Squad, working along with Colonel Meber Gascon, as they team up on a secret mission to infiltrate a separatist dreadnought and obtain an encryption module. My favorite thing about Whack is that he really thinks that he could be more than a pilot. Other than Whack, who's eventually given his corporal rank, we see the pit droids scattered throughout the Clone Wars TV series and the Rebels TV series, and most obviously in our first sighting of them in Episode 1. We watch Jar Jar turn a dormant one on, and we see a number of them scattered throughout the pod races. A memorable sighting is the pit of Adi Mandrill. We watch a small pit droid get sucked through his engine, and although he's very happy to have survived, Adi's engine doesn't, costing him the race. Small pit droids are also sent out to collect Robo from pod racers that had blown apart. This is extremely dangerous, as oftentimes they're sent out while the race is still underway, which means there's a chance you'll hit a pit droid while doing a lap. But like we already mentioned, they were so cheap and easy to replace, it really didn't matter if one got killed. Sorry, little guy. That's it for this droid's bio. Now for some cool facts and some behind the scenes stuff. These droids were so loved that they actually got their own video game. Lucas Learning released Star Wars Pit Droids in 1999. It was a puzzle game aimed at users 9 years and up. There were 300 puzzles. The goal of the game was to get your pit droids from the transport ship to the arena. Each completed puzzle just meant that your pit droids got one step closer to that arena. Pit droids are also a playable character in the LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. They're really not capable of doing anything, but they're kind of fun to play around as. That just about covers the pit droid. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you feel that I missed anything, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And you can always make suggestions for future videos. And remember, the Force will be with you, always, even if you're a dumb droid and you want to be a pilot.